80000. We're up and running. Good morning, good morning. As you can see from the pinch of sky up there, it's a beautiful, beautiful day here in Asakusa. I was out last night down by the river for a walk, and the cherry trees are still fabulously in full bloom down there. A few days ago, I went to Ueno Park, and they were still looking pretty good. It's been a really, really good year for this. But the downside is, across the river in Sumida Park, they have an official Sakura Matsuri, you know, the official cherry blossom festival. And this year, because all the predictions were for early, they did their official festival early. It was from like March 17th to April the 8th, I think was the date. They set up tents, prepared food stalls, chairs and stuff, whatever. At the beginning of it, for the first, week and a half of it, there was nothing, zip, zero, zilch, no cherry trees, whatever. The cherry trees finally bloomed just at the end of their official time. So they get to April the 8th. What do? They shut it all down. I walked along there last night, lights, beautiful cherry trees, nice breeze, and all the booths are closed, and it said finished for this year. They shut it all down on the scheduled time. I guess they had contracts, they had food delivery contracts, I don't know, they weren't able to move on a dime and change it. So there's all these people wandering around, nowhere to get a drink, nowhere to get something to eat, and it all says the seating is all closed. Whatever. I get it. If you're trying to organize a complicated event, you have to do a lot of this stuff in advance. I get it. I'm not really shooting at them. I'm laughing, but not really laughing, you know. A bit of a tragedy, so. And it's still there now today, and this weekend there. All those stalls, the stalls are still there. They haven't taken them down yet, but they all have a sign saying closed for this year. And there will be 1 billion people out there today and tomorrow. And I guess the people who would have made their money off it selling beer and sake and snacks and whatever. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Someone says we have cone alignment. I haven't noticed. Let's put this back up again. Yes, we have cone alignment. And actually what might make it better, I shouldn't encourage you guys on this, but actually our street is not oriented on the compass. Our street is an angled street. I don't know what angle. The alleyway, if you look up that alleyway there, that alley actually is pretty much north and south. The Ninja building, the right wall of the Ninja building does shoot straight north. So today it looks like our cones actually are aligned north-south. Exactly. I don't know. I didn't measure them, whatever. And in a few minutes, as the sun moves over well, no, actually it's already passed, hasn't it? The shadow line will line up with the street, but the shadow line has already passed the west. Yeah. Paper is out for 2 printers. Maybe 1 pack will have to go back in. It's out for Ishikawa-san. She brought this, actually I've got it on the desk here. Ishikawa-san, she posted about it on Instagram too. Ishikawa-san just finished a bunch of prints that for her represented a very, very large challenge. She did a batch of the Koitsu print, Aki no Miyajima. Now for her, doing multi-level Shinhanga prints like this is a challenge, and doing one this large, she's not a little lady, but she's a lady, so the physically larger they get, the more difficult it is. And she has killed this. I think she posted about it on her Facebook page. We didn't have a tall, thin embossment with her name on it. So when it got to the end of the process, I told her just wrap it up, get them dried, and we'll do the embossing later. And I'll be doing that later this afternoon. She has done a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful job. If we were to be nitpicky about it, probably if we go through, the consistency probably won't be quite as good as Kubota-san's consistency. Well, no, look at this. She's got it. Look at this. Beautiful. No, she has done a wonderful, wonderful job on this. So they get embossed now, and they go into... Anyway, what did I start? Yeah. She's already started her next job. That's paper was out for her. She started her next job. Which is going to be the girl on the bicycle, the little small hagaki print. She asked me for something small after doing this. Which is fine. And we have another couple of batches of these. We have some more of the a Hasui print, the late Kawaguchi, and we have some more of the Hasui print Akino Miyajima. These are back from a printer. And they're desperately needed in the shop. Desperately needed. They have to get embossed by me later today. We won't do the embossing on this stream. The other printer package coming out, it's for Ayumi-san, and she's doing the Nikko print, and that's going to take a month or so to do. There are so many impressions, and she's working with a big batch. The reason I put a question mark on it, they may have to go back in the fridge, is a few days ago she threw her back out. So whether or not she will actually be here this morning, I don't know. Her dot was on the calendar, so I pulled it out, but she may send an email later today saying, sorry, I can't make it today. Comparing her to Kubota-san seems to have been fair. I wasn't comparing her. She did a beautiful job, absolutely beautiful job. Okay, today's job, we will be carving this morning. There's also going to be a couple of interruptions today. Today is Saturday, and our friend Sensei Martian is going to drop by. I think he'll be here somewhere around the top of the hour, maybe a bit earlier, I don't know. He is heading off in a couple of days. Today, tomorrow, I don't know. He'll talk about it when he gets here. He's going to drop in, sit on the hot seat for a few minutes, and he is ready to start his Length of Japan live stream event. And it may be starting, I think, like tomorrow or something. So he's going to drop in this morning, give us an update on it. I also have some video prepared. If Vivid KP gives me the approval for it, we have some video of Vivid-san making paper. Maybe we'll do that. Let's do some carving first, and maybe 8:45 or something, whatever. All right, the work here has continued. I haven't been just doing this on stream. On stream, I guess I carved the outlines for the fish during the past couple of days while I've been in the shop. I have been doing some clearing. There's a bit left to do here. So I'll finish this clearing on this corner, and then we'll head off to the Tanukian bird and start carving. I have been busy. Is there more people doing walks in Japan? Chris Broad from Wales. Yeah, I guess it's a thing. I know Alan Booth did it, some decades ago. Mr. Martian's going to have a go at it now. Not for me. I would rather have my walks a little less, what's the word, Adam? Organized. At my age and whatever now, for me, walking is just strolling. I don't need a 2,000-mile goal. So Karen's got some stories. She's been walking up there on the Kiso Kaido. She's got some stories for us, I'm sure. Oh, they're on bikes. I see, okay. Boy, that's something I wouldn't do in Japan. I guess if there's special bike courses like the ones down in the inland sea, that's fine. But biking around Japan on normal roads, the highways are just so narrow. I wouldn't trust the truck drivers. Biking around Japan on general roads is not something I would even remotely consider. Okay, let's do some clearing here. Actually, I remember now, at the end of, was it the last stream, when we did some of this, I had just finished cutting these lines on the inside of the border. Not sure what other news we have today. I don't think there's a bunch of news backed up to tell you here. It has been very, very busy in the shop. We're, I don't know what's the word, we're struggling, literally struggling, to keep the shop full of interesting good prints. If we go back 4 weeks or so, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, to beginning of March and so, I had been doing as much buying as I possibly could. And the girls packing in the back room were sort of a little bit worried about this. Dave, there's so many prints stacked up here in the back room, you know. Don't you think it's a little bit over the top? You know, what are you doing? And I told them, just keep packing. We're going to pack and stack, just keep it up. And they're like, okay, whatever you want. And we did. And now the shelves back there are next to empty. It was really, really necessary to buy as much as I could. It looks like we're going to get through. We're going to get through the rest of this month with decent inventory. But keeping a good, interesting selection of prints in the shop here is turning out to be a very, very, very big challenge. Oops. I did a bit more looking up. I guess many people in the chat also did the same thing. When we had that news the other day that the meeting of the president and the prime minister, you know, the American president and the Japanese prime minister, there was some gift giving back and forth. And there were reports from a news agency that the American president had given our prime minister a woodblock print as a present. It seems that was not true. And not only I, we've been hunting around for this, and there seems to be absolutely no trace of such a thing. There was a print involved. It was a lithograph, but it seems to be nothing to do with woodblock printmaking. It was quite a report. So, someone's saying, I think some lights are missing, as in it's too dark here. Are you talking about in the shop or outside? So are we expecting May to be an easier month? Well, there will be fewer visitors. Historically for us, we've talked about this, it's not a dromedary, it's a camel shape. We have 2 humps each year. We have a spring peak and an autumn peak. So yes, after it's March, April, May is a peak. So after the tourist season is over, it gets back to the hot summer. There are fewer people out there on the streets. Darker, I don't know. The shop lights are not on. If I put the shop lights on, is it lighter for me? I don't know. Did you notice any difference? Whatever. Sorry, I don't know. It's bright sunshine outside, so maybe that has adjusted the automatic balance of the camera. You know, this area here where we see outside, if that's bright, maybe this area here becomes darker. I don't know. Let's move along. Mr. Bird. So maybe that's why, because it's a bright day outside, you're getting a little bit, we're all getting a bit fooled about the light inside, possibly. That's where I would place my bets if I were thinking about this. that was a touch of camellia oil. We've got a very clear, good tracing here, but still putting the camellia oil on turns it pretty much totally transparent, and all we see is the black lines. The oil doesn't affect subsequent printing. I just rubbed a very, very, very tiny trace of oil on there. The oil goes into the paper. Maybe a tiny bit of it goes into the wood, I don't know. It's certainly not enough to affect printing at any point. This was an issue that confused me back at the beginning. The wood itself. Did the wood need preparation? Did it need to be varnished? Was it, it was hard for me to think that it would be just actually a bare piece of wood. But that's what it is. At heart here, the wood that we use, this piece of cherry, has been cut from a tree, dried some more, dried some more. It's been planed. This one has been sanded. Sometimes it's just planing. And it's raw wood. We don't do any other preparation. There's no surfacing. There's no sealing. It's just raw wood. That's why when we're gluing these things down, you've seen me, before this sheet of paper got glued down, I did moisten the block. That moisture would soak into the block and help stop the glue from soaking in too much. Because that can be a problem. If you're gluing a design down on raw wood and your glue soaks into the wood too much, then you have trouble with subsequent printing. Is it a knife for butter or does it require careful force? It's difficult to put it in words, nay. Really, really difficult. I know we've tried to talk about this many times. I'm supporting a knife. If I just use the knife by itself without supporting hand, it will be chaos. The wood is wood. It's got hard areas, soft areas. I would be slipping and sliding, pulling around. It would be really difficult. So we put the finger back, and I've tried to use something like I say, I pull with 10 and I push with 9. Something like this. These are just made up numbers. But the point being, there's actually quite a bit of force being exerted here, but I'm breaking it with this finger. So it's like keeping one foot on the gas and also keeping one foot on the brake. It sounds a bit crazy. And in the case of a car, of course, it wouldn't make any sense. You'd just burn yourself to death. But here it does make sense. It means that by, here we go, put the knife in. The knife can go into the right depth, and now whatever, the 10 minus 9 balance just leaves me just the right amount. Here, there's a hard spot now. I can feel it. But I got to be careful. My finger's pushing, and now it comes out into a softer part of wood now. Here we are. You see, that grain line there was a harder spot. And having these two things in balance lets me control it. I can go through that. And I guess what's happening is my left hand and right hand keep adjusting. At that hard spot, maybe the left hand started to put a bit more power in, but as soon as it got past the hard spot, this break was still there, and it meant the knife didn't suddenly jump forward. I really have difficulty explaining in words how this works. The two opposing things leave just enough power to do the cut, and they must be flexing and changing because the wood is not smooth in terms of its hardness. So cutting through butter, no. Cutting smoothly, yes. There's no way we could cut this without the balancing hand. If I'm going to try, and this little tiny curve, I could get away with it. But there's no way I could do it on an ongoing basis. hard spot here. Very hard spot of grain. Right there. Ouch. A line here, hard grain. Careful, it's a good place to break the knife right here. Nice, good fun carving. You know, John's given me nice, good, pleasant lines here. Not sure what tool he used to create these, whether it was a brush or something in Photoshop or whatever, I don't know. But they're nice lines. They're good fun to carve. There's enough classical taste to them. John has studied Japanese prints for such a long time, you know, so. Did I invent the needle tool? No, 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 no. No, 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 no. The carver Ito-san, Ito Susumu-san, the Remembering a Carver video. Actually no, it's not in that video. It's in the TV program. I went to see Ito-san twice at the invitation of TV companies. And they used bits and pieces of the interview and sessions for 2 different TV programs, one in the mid-90s and one just at the end of our series, the documentary program, the 1-hour documentary they did about me at the end of the thing. And in there's a scene with me talking to Ito-san. And it's a bit of an embarrassing scene for me because he's speaking to me in Japanese. And I do actually understand the words, but they don't make any sense. So the conversation went something like this. He's waving this tool at me. I've seen him pick. And maybe I asked something, is it a real knife blade? It doesn't look like a knife blade. What is this or something? And he grabs it and he says, I forget the exact words, but the gist was this. Tento. Kono hari wa tento. And he's yelling the word tento at me. And what he was trying to say was tent, as in canvas tent. The point being, this is a really thick sewing machine needle, the kind used by people who were doing heavy sewing, not delicate shirts, but making tents. And he just kept repeating the word tento, expecting me to say, yes, so, then continue. But I didn't get it, so I just looked at him blankly. The conversation eventually got to the end. Maybe one of the camera people jumped in or something, I don't even remember. But his gist was that it's a sewing machine needle. You can see the groove inside it. It was a thick, fat sewing machine needle where the heavy thread comes up in a groove inside the needle, gets sewn through the canvas, and away they go. So long story short, I didn't invent this. Ito-san or his teacher or somebody else in the group, I don't think this would go back to the old Edo period. I think it's a modern bastardization of something. And the advantage to us is that because this is not the same kind of steel as our knives, these are a very hard steel, which take a sharp edge, but are very brittle. They break easily. This, being a sewing machine needle, is going to be some kind of stainless steel. It gets a point, but it's not a super sharp point, and we can pry with it. Be careful not to break something, it's just go somewhere else. We can dig and poke and pry. We can't pry with our normal blades because we have to slice the wood. So the big advantage, it's a tiny, tiny pry bar. Whatever. No, the word for tent it's katakana. It's the what do you call it? The loan words. It would be tento. And it was just out of context. I didn't get what he was trying to say. And I think nearby where he was, there was a place that made, it wasn't camping tents. They were making tarps, and they were making, when there's a community meeting, they have a little shelter with a frame and a canvas thing over top of it, whatever. Dave's face must have just been like, help, help. What is this man trying to say? So normally, I mean, even with me now, there's conversation with somebody Japanese, there will be lots of words used I don't know. Ayano-san, she used a word the other day I didn't know. In utero education. I'd never come across that word before. So when you're talking in the early days, you've got to try and keep the conversation going. So even when there's words coming in that you don't understand, you nod and you say, yeah, whatever, whatever. And they keep going, and you're trying to back process it, and you lose some and you get some, and a minute later you'll get the word. But the conversation keeps going, and you can communicate. If you stop every time you don't get a word, if you go, and stop it, they stop talking, they eventually break down communication. So I broke that rule because I was trying to understand what the guy said. I wanted to know the answer to what this was. So I didn't understand his word, tento. And I should have just said, so desu ne, and let him continue. But I was desperate for the information, so. Just sewing machine, it must have been a big fat needle with a bunch of horsepower behind it. So, whatever. Sorry about long story, whatever. Anyway, no, I didn't invent it. Nothing to do with me. So I have invented basically nothing here. I did back when I was doing this at first, in the early days of the Poet series, I invented, quote unquote, a bunch of stuff. And then I uninvented them. We've got a story here that I'm saving for a very, very important video, which I guess will I make one day, I don't know. The video about how much you want to do by yourself and how much you want to build tools for. And human beings do tools really well, but sometimes they're not the appropriate way to move forward. Exactly what I'm doing right now. The random person that walks into our shop sees me doing this, and there will be lots of these people say, you could sort of, do this by laser, And yes, we could possibly, certainly, do this by laser. Sometimes efficiency is not the most important goal. Sometimes. So when to allow a tool into the process and when to leave it out and just use your hands. It's a big, big, big question. That which segues me here. I see Jed-san opened his shop last night, and predictably I got another email this morning. Said, Dave, will your shop be open today? It says on the internet. I got the email that said your shop is closing tomorrow. And I had to reply to the person, no, we're not closing tomorrow. The email you got there was not from me. It was from Jed Henry. And his Ukiyo-e Heroes shop online is only open now and then. And he sent an email last night saying, shop closing tomorrow. That's not me. That's Jed Henry, shop closing tomorrow. The reason that comes up is because I'd seen when he opened his shop the other day, I went over there to see what he's got that's new. And he's got some new woodblock prints there. They're made for him by his B team. Can I say that without being yelled at? There's woodblock prints on Jed's shop, sushi cats, hanami cats, stuff like that, the game characters that are made here at Mokuhankan. Then he's got a bunch of other woodblock prints because he is really trying to put some money into the community to train people in this work. So he's got prints there that are not made by me, although people sort of think they're made by me. But nothing I can do about that. What hurts a little bit is that a lot of his new prints, they're all made, they're laser carved, and he's not actually mentioning that on his website. So whatever. This is the prying I mentioned. We can pry with this thing. It doesn't break. Couldn't break this if I tried. Oh, Ishikawa-san, good morning. Thank you. That's Ishikawa-san, the lady who made the prints we saw at the beginning of the stream. The Aki no Miyajima. Talking about jigs, yeah, of course jigs are a thing. I love making jigs. I've made a bajillion jigs in my life. And the story I sort of semi-referred to a few minutes ago is when I was in the early days of the Poet series I made a jig, a Kento jig, you know, a registration jig for the prints. Thinking that it seems really silly to do it the old way and cut and recarve and recut and move the registration marks all the time. Why not just make a jig for it? So I did. I made a jig for it for the first print in the Poet series, you know, and I used it. And then sat and looked at it. And I got to be careful here because this is now 30 years ago, so remembering my exact feelings, I don't know. But I do remember what I did. After making that jig, I sat and looked at it for a while. And when it came time to start the second print in the series, I put the jig away and did the second print in the old-fashioned way, where you cut the registration marks and you have to recut them and move them and fool around with them and move them again, and endless trouble and trials and pulling your hair out and what's going on. But I did it that way so that I would learn how to do it that way. If I had just gone ahead with my simple little jig, I would not have developed the ability to do printing in the traditional way and to use older blocks. And maybe it wouldn't have mattered. I could just put the old world behind me and just move forward with the new way. But I realized that making the registration jig was step one, and then a week later, step two would be, oh, I know, I can make it a little simpler this way. I can think of something to make it a little bit easier. And that was a road that I didn't want to walk down. Because at the end of the day, if you just keep doing that, you're just going to invent the printing press. I mean, Gutenberg and his boys and whatever, they did that back in the 1400s or whenever it was. And because Dave's a guy that likes jigs and likes fooling around and how can I make it better? And I realized all I would be doing was I would be inventing printing all over again, you know. At the end of the day, you got a machine where, what did I say earlier? You throw a tree in one end and out the other end come Woodblock prints, you know. And that would have been a very cool thing to build, but that wasn't what I was trying to do. I wasn't trying to be an inventor. I was trying to train myself to make beautiful prints in the traditional style, you know. So I put away the tool making and jig making. It's a thing, and it's wonderful that humans do this, and I'm glad they do this because I've got now my wonderful computer that we can use to do this streaming. But it wasn't my motivation for doing this craft. So when to say no to the efficiency. There's a time to do it. There's a time to be efficient and progress, and there's a time to say no thanks. So how are we for time here? 8:45. Wasn't it Mr. Amos who made the bokashi jig for circular bokashi? I don't know if John made one, but I also made one back when I'm doing my Surimono albums. It's on my website. It's on the woodblock.com encyclopedia. I made a jig for doing a circular bokashi, and I used it to get me out of a jam because I wasn't able to do it this way. So I made a jig to do it. So Mr. Hypocrite standing here, you know, I just said there's a time to do these things and there's a time not to do these things. So did John do one as well? I did a jig. If you go to woodblock.com, look up the encyclopedia section, look up, what's it called? Special printing methods. I forget what it's called. And there's a section in there showing a circular jig. Yeah, John did something similar, a print of a sun behind a tree. Quite possible. Great minds think alike. There's John's jig. When was the deed here? Who's got priority? Email with John last night about a couple of other things. He's the one who designed this, of course, you know, so. Yeah, do I need to find my own link? I don't know. Let's find this. Mokuhankan, Dave's website. Where am I? Encyclopedia. Printing tools and materials. I don't know. Printing a curved gradation. Here we do. I do have this. By the time I get back to the chat, someone's already got this, I'm sure. Someone got it? Yes, Chicken Meister. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now that I know John did, I don't think I do. I know about this. I'll look up John's after the stream is over. The question I don't understand, does your store hold not to order prints I can buy as souvenirs? I don't know what you're asking. We have hundreds of prints here. We have brand new prints we make. We have small gift prints. We have older prints. What we don't have is old Edo era prints. We have nothing like in the tens of thousands of dollars range. We don't do that here. Nothing in the thousands of dollars range. But yeah, we have hundreds of prints here. Now, I know John has overlaid these here. We have another case here where this is going to burst out. And we have our inner line. And there's no way that this line should appear through the bird. So we will kill this. Up on the previous one, we had the same thing. The fish's tail went through the border, and the border line would not be visible through the tail. So this one here, we can do this. We can cut that line. take this to a natural shape here. I can't see it because it's in the black. But where would this go and make it up here? Some curve, something like that. No, the Edo prints, why are they expensive? We're talking about rarity. I'm talking about, old prints from 200, 300 years ago. They start to get expensive because they're rare. You see in an auction every once in a while, the Great Wave sold at Sotheby's for $2 million or whatever. Some of the old prints are very rare and in very high demand. It's a specialty business, and I don't have the knowledge, nor the financing, nor the clientele. It's not our business at all. Our business here is publishing new prints. That's our number one business. And to help fill out our shop, we have a selection of 20th century prints. But our specialty ends there. We don't try and cover. We've got some Meiji prints, a few, and we're trying to get a bit of a more selection. But we don't have Edo era prints. Not at all. It's not our game here. We don't have the expertise. It's a very specialized business. Also, too, we start to run into things like Japan does have some rules about export of older stuff. Some things that are older than blah 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 or living national blah 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 whatever. There's various rules this country has about exporting older goods from that era, and we're not. That's not our specialty. The keg of beer. Someone's asking here. The keg of beer belongs to the Oyster Shack next door. There's a restaurant next door called literally Oyster Shack, Kaki Goya, oyster small building. They've translated the concept of Oyster Shack. And it's a cook at your table restaurant. They do seafood, oysters, and whatever, cooking at your table. And yeah, they do beer, and that's left over from last night's. There will be a beer truck come along sometime this morning that will take the keg away, and I guess presumably bring a new keg or 2 or 3. No kegs here at Mokuhankan, sorry. Beer and prints. How's our time? I wasn't thinking about what's going on here, the different things we have to do. It's 8:54. We talked about playing a video. I think, Karen, if you are going to be here on Monday, let's save the video till when you're here to show, and you can narrate it. Is that the best way to do this? It really makes no sense for me to play Karen's video if she's going to show up on Monday. And Jason, I know Mr. Sensei Martian is going to be here in a few minutes, I think, to talk about his... So Karen's going to be there on Monday. Jay, we'll save the papermaking for you to do this. We can play it, you can narrate it, and whatever, of course. Makes more sense. And then Sensei Martian can talk about his upcoming thing. And then we have show and tell. We've got more of those match level prints. We'll take a look through that book again at 9:15 for that. Sadako will be here about 9:10, I think. Did I stock the work fridge with beer? No, I didn't. No, I didn't. The last thing I want to do is start stressing the people. Is Dave going to force them to drink beer after work on Friday nights and stuff? We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. First time stream watcher notes. Now I see these at noon. I usually read the chat here later on in the day. Thanks for the notes, new viewers. Thank you. I don't know, if Karen's going to be here on Monday, she must have a million stories for us. She spent, I believe, the last week or so. The conference ended on Saturday. It's now Saturday, so she's been fooling around up there in the backwoods of Japan for 1 week. I don't really know. She'll tell us all about it, but she must have a ton of stories, hopefully pictures and. Karen-san, if you're going to do that on Monday, talk about your adventures. If you've got pictures and stuff you want to show in the stream, you know, when you're telling stories here, let me have access to them, and I can put them in the background so we can pop them up as you're here chatting. We can have a travel report. By footsteps. This must be Mr. Martian.
Hello, hello.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I said around 9, so it's probably, you've waited outside till it's exactly 9 or something, have you? So.
I did do my rounds.
Here, can you put these over on the table there? Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey. Before you sit down,
Yeah.
power on the GoPro there. Bottom, no, one, you know, the one on the front.
yeah, yeah.
No, don't touch that. Yeah. Hold it a bit longer. That's it? Or did you just turn it off? I don't know.
Maybe.
That's on. It's on. Good.
Awesome.
This is our favorite Martian.
Hello, everybody.
Just make sure we've got it here. Okay, I think we're in there. Yeah, we're on. It's a bit dark. People keep saying it's dark, and it really is a bit dark. I don't know why. Do I need to introduce you? Everybody knows here who this is, right? Is it okay to use your real name, or do I have to be Sensei Martian?
We can do first name's good.
This is Jason. I don't know. Jason Martian, or whatever, I don't even know. Don't know where you got your middle name from.
Well, that's actually, I guess I can tell the story. So, my last name is Martin, and one of my old football coaches called me, one of them called me Martian, and one of them called me Martini.
Soka. So it's a twist of your real name. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. But where does the Sensei part come from?
A long time ago, one of my friends he was more into Japan things than I was, and so we were playing football, and he's like, "You always teach us stuff, so like,
okay,
Sensei
okay,
Martian."
right.
So that's been my online name.
And that's gonna hang on to you until you die.
Until I die,
say.
yeah.
The reason Jason's on is here is because a year ago, was it last year? No, a year ago. whatever. A while back, Jason had a walking project. He walked along the Tokaido Road.
In November, November
Okay.
2023.
Half a years ago.
Yeah.
And that overlaps with our work, and he's been a friend of us, whatever. So we watched in while you're doing. There's a new project coming up for the few of you that may not know what's going on. Starting in tomorrow, or a couple of days, or 15 minutes from now, whatever. Jason is heading down south to the bottom of Kyushu. He's going to put on his gear, backpacks, camera, whatever, and he's going to walk to the northern tip, or one of the northern tips. Is there an absolute?
I believe it's the most northern
tip
on,
of
without
Hokkaido.
a boat, yeah.
He's then going to swim across the sea, hit Kamchatka, and you're going to end up in Moscow, right?
Mr. Putin let me in. Yeah, gotta.
And so he's here to give us an update because the thing is now about to happen. So you explain what's going on. I will do a bit more carving. You have a 15-minute time.
It's okay. Let me get out my stopwatch.
I will try and catch questions here.
I'll put your chat on too. So
relax. Oh, I see you on your own. You can watch.
Then
Okay.
you don't have to.
Oh, so you can watch questions.
I can.
Okay. All right.
Wait, does Martian know someone else is doing the same thing at the same time? Langstrom, I don't want to talk a lot about that, but...
Oh, do we have competition here?
Someone has recently said that they're going to do it as a subathon, donathon style.
Well, they talked about that on somebody bicycle. Is this
This is someone different.
Someone
This is
different.
someone
Okay.
completely different. Yeah, so right now everyone knows Sea Dog VA, Chris brought the big guys are doing a bike from Shimonoseki to Tokyo. Every year they do a big bike charity thing. Awesome. They raise tons and tons of money.
But like, what, people watch them and donate or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and then they do 80 to 100 kilometers a day, and then they do that.
I see. So you pledge like 10 yen per kilometer or something? Or?
Some people do flat donations. I think some people probably do per kilometer. I'm not entirely sure how that works.
Yours is not that kind of project.
Mine is not like that. Okay. Mine is, I mean, if I ever get big enough to do charity things, absolutely. But no, I'm doing this because I read a book last year. Mm-hmm. Donate to the IDF. Yes, that is correct. That's what they do. Beardless Sensei, yeah, for those of you that I just shaved last week. So, yeah, I have been talking about this project for about a year, and then the Tokaido obviously was something that I wanted to do, but also a test of if I can do it for 500 kilometers, I should be able to do it for 3,000 kilometers.
Well, we're going to move the microphone here. The microphone at the moment's on my chest, and we need to move it to a place where it's going to be catching both of us. So 1 second here.
Yeah, so I fundamentally, John, they're the same. I know 500 and 3,000 are quite quite different, but no, he and I have talked about this before. I read Alan Booth's The Road to Sasata. Thanks to the commenter, Dave and I recorded a video and we talk a little bit about it, but our interview, the show, or the solo.
That's right.
It's posting 2.5, 3. I was supposed to post this morning, but whenever I checked my computer, it didn't render properly. So it's going to be today.
Okay.
It's coming out today.
We're talking YouTube.
Our YouTube, yes. And so that's one thing I wanted to comment on this time. Yes, the goal is to stream my next project as much as possible. However, there will be days that there will be no connection. So that's why I'm also transitioning to doing YouTube things. The goal is in about every city to stop and interview people, kind of long form. Not quite like stiff reporter, type things, but chats about their area, chats about the history, local place, and some of the places are very, very, very local. So,
every place is local.
Well, okay. Let me rephrase it. Some places are small, have fewer people than others.
All right.
Last time it was kind of more of a grueling marathon. This time we're still going to be putting in a ton of walking per day, but we're simplifying it. More rest days.
Wait. You switched to we there.
Stream.
Okay. Yeah. Royal we.
No, and that's royal we. Yeah. So I'm still doing this alone. That's it. Me in a backpack. Weighs about 17 and a half kilograms, about 40 pounds, give or take.
You're not one of those people that tries this with pulling a little cart.
It's impossible.
Where did I see that? No, I saw somebody.
Oh, Gump Suzuki. Yeah, so there's a Japanese guy who does, his online name's Gump Suzuki, and he did it across America with a rickshaw.
A rickshaw?
Yeah.
Like carrying people?
No, but he had his stuff in, like the Asakusa rickshaws, he had his stuff in that, and he ran across.
Okay, well, I've seen some, it came across one of my news feeds couple of months ago. Somebody is walking in Japan and he's pulling like a little red wagon or something, or a basket thing with wheels, or.
See, that's, I mean, it's possible, but I wouldn't want to do it like that because there's too many stairs. Like, there's a lot of time when you have to cross the highway, you have to cross stairs sometimes.
Gotcha,
and
yeah,
so,
okay. And also, you're not camping out here.
No.
Be
I'll be staying in. I have to work, so I'll be working the whole time too. That's another thing that I'm not rich enough of a content creator to quit my job. But I'll never probably quit my job. I like the structure that it provides, and I like that. So yes. So the my streamer is at Sensei_Martian. I'll just say hi in the chat, and then the YouTube channel is. YouTube.com/@Sensei Martian, all one word, no underscore.
Somebody will presumably be typing this for us, right? Okay.
But
and again, okay, but can we get this? When is this happening?
I fly out. I was gonna fly. I'm flying out Monday. Walk starts on Wednesday because it takes time. Japanese time. So it'd be Wednesday morning.
Tuesday night for most people overseas.
So I'm flying to Kagoshima Monday. Gonna get down to Ibusuki, and then Tuesday I'm taking a ferry from Ibusuki to Minami Osumi, and then trying to work my way down to the bottom, and then Wednesday we'll start. So Tuesday I'm gonna be filming some stuff off stream, and then Wednesday is when we'll start walking. So
this is complicated. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's hard to get to the bottom. It's much more difficult to get down to the bottom than you would think.
The road's less traveled.
But yeah, and it looks so cool though. There's a lot of, we'll be staying in Minishuku for the first couple nights, so that's pretty nice. But
and what's the idea? To stream a couple of hours each day, or
we're gonna stream. The goal is to stream whenever we're walking from town to town, lunch, things like that, and then when we get to the towns, hopefully, I'm mailing places in advance, trying to get. Permission to film places and people to talk to when I get there. So we'll turn off the streaming camera, film that, and that'll go to YouTube. So it's okay. We're doing a little bit of both.
This is not really the same way as you did it with Tokaido, where it was pretty much every waking hour it was on, and you were hitting the highway watching trucks go by.
Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit. I will be
more staged.
Yeah, a little bit more staged. Yeah.
So it's not going to be something we can always turn on, and you'll always be there.
I mean, I will. Anytime I'm walking, it'll probably be on, but the days are going to be a little bit shorter this time compared, relatively speaking. There will be 10-hour days some days.
Is there a web page or a blog or a Facebook page or something where we can get some sense of the schedule?
We're trying. I'm working on that now. I'll let people know in Discord, and I'll let people know in your Discord too. So I have a Discord as well, but I'll let people know. So
what about a map or something to show where he's at?
Yes.
Because
so we have.
It's
going to take 4 months, 4.5 months.
So we're going to get. It's okay tomorrow, but we're going to get really confused as to where is he?
Yeah. So I have a live tracking map when I'm walking, and then that's what I got. This tracks. This is a Fitbit, and I have it tied to my maps, and so it's like a small GPS type thing.
Is that your heartbeat? 9?
I hope
you
not.
need more than 9 beats a minute.
No, this is the time.
908.
Yeah. 900 maybe, I don't know. But should start from Okinawa and swim across the East Chinese Sea. A lot of people mention that you're walking from Okinawa, but even a boat from Okinawa takes a really, really, really long time. So
no, but I mean, just a minute. Japan, the main one, has a bunch of islands. Kyushu is an island, Honshu is an island, Hokkaido is an island. So you could have Okinawa south to north in Okinawa Island. Get across the water to Kyushu.
That might be a bonus stream.
Okay.
The victory lap would be flying to Okinawa, walking top to bottom, and then sitting on a beach somewhere.
Don't count too many chickens. By the way, elsewhere, is this stream sponsored here today? Before the stream started, I had time. I got my poison this morning. I was up at 6 o'clock, so I had some time for poison. I went to. They can tell us, right? The difference in cups. My L-size coffee from Lawson is a little bit bigger than the L-size coffee from Seven. And the price went up last week.
See, I like Lawson more, but I was walking circles, and then I was like, okay.
Where you are, yeah. This is now 260 yen per cup. And last week I learned about this. This went up to 300 yen.
This is 250 this morning.
Which place?
The one over there by Denny's.
It's gone back down? It was 300.
I paid 250 this morning.
Yeah, they got too much blowback. It went up last weekend. It was 300
Wow,
here.
I wouldn't pay
And
that.
I was shocked. I said, "Go wait, 300?" He said, "Yeah, it went up last night or 2 nights before." And I said, "Just a minute. I was in Fukui, and it was like 2 days ago. I was in Fukui, and it was 240 there, 260 here. So they're I guess they're playing.
Yeah, playing like
They're
max
playing-
minning
Good
the
morning,
algebra
good morning.
equation.
Or it's demand. What's it called? I don't surge, not surge pricing. I don't know. They can't.
well-
The prices are all printed in
In like the menus. Yeah. I don't know what that's called, but I know in algebra it's called a max min equation, and it makes it hyperbole or hyperbola. But you
Wait,
can't
the
go
moment today. This was 260, and that was
250.
250.
Yeah.
But it's a bit smaller.
Yeah, I mean we can. It's that magic trick where you pour the cups and it's the same amount. Yeah. But yeah,
The
go
taste
ahead.
is quite different. I really prefer this taste.
I prefer that one too. Actually, the one I prefer the most from Lawson is the mild espresso latte.
I can't drink it.
So
Sorry to interrupt you. Excuse
No,
me.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
sorry.
yeah, so like I said, Dave and I, we shot a video. It's about 95 minutes, an hour and a half, an hour and 35 minutes. Yeah.
We talked that long. You told me you'd come for 30 minutes.
Hey, I apologize.
We spent 90 minutes jawing the other day.
Yeah, we did.
Jay, you got some stuff to cut out of there, Jason.
Well,
There's no way it was all that interesting.
It was, well, I think it's the feel I was going for, and then it's hard to cut because we transitioned. So I mean, I guess I could cut it into 3 different things, but the big long is
He's being polite here. It's hard to cut because I talk too
No,
much.
no,
and
no,
There's
no.
no way you can, you do a wipe.
No. I watched it because I kind of was like, okay, do we cut it into many pieces? But it's
So, God, okay.
no,
okay,
it's
okay.
good. It's good. I was looking for places to cut and looking for places to, but there wasn't really much to cut. So
What did we talk about? I don't even remember.
life, a lot about content. Maybe too much about making the content and not about content. But a little bit meta.
Breaking one of my rules, yeah. When it comes
Fourth wall.
No. We talked about this before on the
Yeah.
screen. When you hear me too much talking about the process of making the content, that means there isn't any content. They're running out of ideas. So the newspaper columnist who talks about how hard it was to write last week's call.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, we
kill
talked
it.
about that,
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I think it was also a little bit because Dave and I come in often to bother. I walk up here and it's about 10 and a half, 11 kilometers exactly from my house to here. So it's a good like hour and a half, 2 hour walk. And so, yeah, that's how, anyway. Does anyone have any questions? Any comments? I have 2 minutes left.
Oh, about the work, the reason you're here.
It was about the reason I'm here,
yeah.
yeah. If anyone's got any questions. So,
Where do we go? Do we know? It's been in the chat. Has it, people have put,
I don't know if people have posted. I know someone shouted
Twitch.
me out. I'll get the link for the
So
YouTube.
we need to know where to connect to,
Yeah,
It's just your normal Sensei Martian Twitch.
that's correct.
Yeah.
Sensei Martian.
But are you logged in today to this?
Chicken Meister, that's it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm here.
Thank you.
Knee back to 100%. So it turns out it wasn't my knee. It was back in December. When I came back from Tokaido, I had torn the muscle in my shin. It's good enough to walk. So the best way I can feel it, it doesn't hurt anymore, but it feels like someone had bent the edge of a puzzle piece, put it back flat, and then it still fits in the puzzle, but it's still good. It's still fine. And that's because we didn't get enough. That's one thing I learned about the last trip. And I'm so glad I took the last trip because if I tried to do something like this completely raw, I would have been, because I learned now, like, food situation, sleeping situation, scheduling. Also, that's another, last time I was watching my old VODs, I spent so much time trying to fix the stream. That's not going to happen this time. If the stream's having problems, I'm going to apologize, cut it off, and walk. Because I would spend some days an hour plus just trying to fix stuff throughout the day. 10 minutes here, 20 minutes here, just trying to fix the reception and stuff. And it's not possible. So that slowed me down, and then that puts me in a weird mood. So we are going to be trying to stream as much of it as possible, town to town and things like that. But
You are confusing me. You keep saying we.
sorry,
I'm
me.
sorry.
I'm streaming it by myself for chats, but royal we. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, this is a solo trip, solo endeavor, but. I mean, I guess if throughout the way some people tag along for part of it, that's up to them. But there's no, I don't. Too many people are keen.
Thinking about the climate and the weather and stuff. You're walking from south to north, starting in spring.
Yeah.
4 months, ending in I guess early autumn, and you're following warmer weather up, or the cool weather is going to come down and start to hit you at the end.
The biggest thing I was trying to do is outrun rainy season. If I can get north of the Tokyo, Kanazawa area, like pretty much if I can get to Tohoku.
Because it's not so rainy.
It's not so rainy
there,
up there.
I get you up there.
And also
starting too late. It's going to catch you. Absolutely.
Well, it's going to catch me, but it won't catch me as much. I should be, getting. I'll be getting it as I'm escaping that.
Okay, if there's two factors outrunning that, I think you should have started earlier. And the other one is 4 months from now. It's going to be April, May, June, July, August. I guess you're okay. The cold weather isn't going to catch you coming down from the north. If you were running late, September or something, you don't want to be fooling around in northern Hokkaido going into October.
Yeah, no, I should be, fingers crossed, I should be done by September, even if I take a lot of rest. I'm tentatively thinking, again, conservatively would be 4 months, but it just depends. Rainy season in Japan, it's usually like the end of May and June. I mean, the weather's been so weird recently that I have no idea.
No, it sweeps up though from the south.
Yeah, it does sweep up.
The weather forecasts give us a front how far the rainy season has progressed, and it doesn't go up all the way. Hokkaido doesn't have the thing that we call a rainy season.
Gotta get one of those multiple cell phone cards. Yeah, Weird Amy. Weird Amy. I have those. Because that's the problem we had in Hakone, deep in the mountains. And that's the only issues we're really going to have are from Shimonoseki to Izumo, because we're going the back. We're not going through Hiroshima, the south side. We're going north to Hagi, hopefully, and then cutting over into Masada, into some of those other towns up through Izumo. You're deep in the mountains in Hiroshima, and there's, even with 3 or 4 cards, you can't get signal. Yeah. It's
you're listing a bunch of places that none of us.
Sorry, it's
okay. Well,
yeah. I'll should done. How much is rent for an apartment there? I'm sure it's cheaper than here in the U.S. It is cheaper, but it also depends on what side. A lot of apartments, especially in Tokyo, are 1K, so they're 15 to 20 square, even less sometimes, 15 to 20 square meters, up to. I mean, they have 100 square meter apartments for, Nihaku Gojo, $20,000-$30,000 a month.
Here in Tokyo, a rent for a place to stay, when you look at the real estate agent's maps for this, it's done in a series of rings. The closer you are to central Tokyo, the more expensive it is.
Yeah.
But in any given area, the closer you are to the station,
Yes.
the more expensive it is. So there's a ring. 2 minutes from the station, it's X price.
Yeah.
10 minutes from the station, it's going to be X minus.
Yeah.
It's a factor. The other part of this is Tokyo and Osaka are, of course, quote, expensive, unquote. Out of Tokyo, everything's cheaper, but it does get much harder to find things like an apartment to rent because there's no market for them there. Nobody's been building them.
Yeah.
The other alternative is, of course, an old house out in the country, which are free,
Yeah, the Akiya homes, yeah.
So.
Tom, 1060, when do you start properly? The goal is to start Wednesday morning Japan time. So that'd be Tuesday night U.S. time, Tuesday late night European time.
あ、どうも。
置いてきますね。
久保田さんから。
はい、ありがとうございます。
はい、どうも。Thank you.
そうです、久保田さんから。
あ、
ありがとうございます。
Yes! Yes! If you're waiting for, excuse the interruption.
No, it's your show. Yeah.
If you're waiting for your copy of the 8 Views of Cats Evening Rain print, the one with the cat pouring on the bonsai, it just arrived. 200 copies of them just arrived. I haven't opened it yet, but I know they're going to be okay.
Do you want me to hand the box to you?
No,
you want to open it up?
It's okay. We know what's inside there. What time is it now?
9:19. I went over. Apologies.
Yeah, we've got, okay, but the show and tell, I want to take more.
Yeah.
Okay, tell you what we'll do then. Okay, we'll rearrange things on the fly. The match label show and tell, we'll hold these because I really want to show you carefully. You chat about your stream a bit, or your thing a bit more, and I will open Kubota's box.
Okay.
now that I've told everybody what's inside.
Yeah, so we're starting at the bottom, Cape Sata, Sata Misaki, which is the very southern tip of Kagoshima. And then, yeah, I think last time we did 30 to 35 kilometers the first few days. We're not going to be doing mini load those types of days. We're going to stick, so that's about 18 to 22 miles. We're going to be sticking to like 10 to 15 miles a day. That's the sweet spot. And then, yeah, like I said, I can't stop.
He keeps saying we. Who are you, Queen Victoria? What is the deal here? We.
Sorry.
No, I mean, I don't mean this confusion with me. People know I'm not involved with this, but it's really easy. Why have you switched
because
into this mode?
I think
I mean, you and the people watching.
Me and the people watching, because that's how I think it's not just me. It's
okay. I'm not sarcastic about this, but that wasn't present last time, and I'm hearing this now all the time.
Well, it's more experience, I guess, taking us along.
Okay.
So
yeah, sorry to get on you there.
yeah. Corn Gummy. David is comment on Twitch. It's a community thing. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. No.
Printed at the secret second location.
This was printed at Kubota-san's house. Kubota-san works at home. He won't come here to work. He's retired. He's 70, 75, 76. He just wants to chill out. He gets up in the morning, has his coffee, whatever, stretches, gets to work all day. But he doesn't have to commute. He's never going to commute. Again. The main bulk of this box is blocks, of course, so we'll just get it out of the way here. Actually, Mr. Martian, if I pass this over to you, can you get rid of it there? Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'll just put it over here.
Karen, she says, I keep saying we. All right, I wasn't trying to be hostile, it's a new pattern. I don't think he used that before. He was saying, I will do this, I will do that. I'm just hearing a switch.
Well,
I
think it's nice.
Sorry.
How many layers? How many layers today? It's not green tape, it's clear tape.
No, it's Kubota-san's. It's funny, when I was at Kubota-san's place the other week, when I was taking him to previous job, I meant to take some green tape with me because I was going to here, Kubota-san, use this from now on, and then I totally forgot, and then I realized I don't want to fake this anyway. I don't know why Japan seems to have gone off green tape when it used to be on basically every package we opened, and now it's not. It's still there in the shops. I don't know. Jacques is here. I'm complaining about Jed's website. Jacques said I have no control whatsoever over Jed's website. Zero.
How would you rate that town to say like Bangkok, Thailand? Which town?
You're talking about rents, you mean?
I have no idea.
In Tokyo? I don't know. I'm sorry.
I
wouldn't
Could
know.
we get some more information, Chris? Thank you.
It's all to do with the cost of living, how much you're working, how much you get paid per hour, everything else. It's all relevant.
Well, that's one. I got really lucky too, because a lot of people in Japan, a lot of Japanese people too, they don't like old apartments. So I got very lucky. I live in a pretty decent neighborhood, but I don't pay much because it's old. Wow, that looks cool.
Very mixed feelings for me, I didn't draw this, I didn't carve this, I didn't print this, but my hands are all over it. I published this, I brought this into being. I am so proud of the new work we're doing. And one of the problems for me with this now is because these first few cats have been so good. so good. I'm really, really having trouble pushing it forward. Cat design number 4. Taran-san is on stream here, whatever. He's been covering a couple of new blocks for it. We're doing another test printing of number 4. Numabe-san, top printer, and Taran-san together are having a session next week at Numabe-san's place to work on the next 8 views of cats. Number 4. There is a block set ready. It's the cat at the sushi restaurant. And all the people around the designer, Taran-san, the people who do test printing, they're all saying, Dave, what's the problem? It looks okay. It looks okay. What's the problem? And my problem is these previous couple have been so freaking good. They've been so perfect. I'm having trouble the 4th one, you know. And then the 5th and 6th. I've got tens of thousands of designs that people have sent in now. Literally, with no exaggeration, tens of thousands of designs. And I can't find the perfect one that I want that's going to be this good. So maybe we peaked too soon, or I'm being too super critical, and I should just take one of these designs and say, you know, that's okay. Let's fly with that. But I don't want to say, oh, that's okay. I want something that jumps out of that package of 10,000 designs and says, Dave, this is it. Make me. I'm the one, you know. And I don't see anything there that does that. So I'm struggling at moving that series forward, you know, because these have come out so good. It shouldn't be like, it should have been, first one should have been good, next one should have been a bit better, then a bit better, then a bit better. But we've peaked. I peaked too soon. I can't say that, you know, just we've set a standard that is so high. That's why the cat series is late. It's there, number 4 is there, and it is now moving forward. We're doing another test printing, as I said. And it looks like we're going to publish it because my back's against the wall and everybody else is saying, Dave, put this out. It's okay. And I'll say, okay. I'm sorry to be, you know, whatever.
They're talking about the glass. John says, look at the glass in that spray bottle. He says it's
yes. I mean, this
crazy.
to me too. And the water on here and the smoothness and the beautiful pigments that really don't match together. If I describe this to you, there's a cat, it's got an orange kimono and there's a dirty gray wall on some funny green and outside. You know, if I describe this to you, it's like, that's not going to work. And yet it works perfectly. I've never met Jonathan, the designer here. This design actually, we didn't mess with this design very much. Jonathan sent it and we pretty much used the design as he did. This is his lines, we didn't clean him up. This is his conception, we didn't change it. I think I did ask him something about the size of the tree, the bonsai tree. I think we edited it a tiny bit. And then our color balance is somewhat different from what Jonathan specified. He gave us a Photoshop layout and we very much ukiyo-ed it. We used coloring that made more sense in our tradition. But it's Jonathan's conception. I've never met him, maybe never will, I don't know. I just hope he's getting his royalty checks every month. He gets a payment from us. He gets a percentage of everything we sell. So he should be happy that way. But I have no idea who that person is. And anyway, whatever. I'm rambling. Sorry. We have a fabulous, fabulous print. We asked Kubota-san to do, I think it's 120 sheets. I can't remember. And he just sat down and ran them off. Bang, 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 bang. There's a few at the bottom here. Look at this registration off. We'll have to be careful. We did a test few. He's 70X now, and he's supposed to be retired. Printers don't last all that long. Carvers go till they drop, 99, whatever, because you just sit hunched over your block and doing it. But for a printer, it's a physically difficult job. So we don't know how much longer he's going to be able to do this. And every single job that comes from him now, I just treasure it, absolutely treasure it. Anyway, sorry, I'm rambling a bit too much, I'm in love with this stuff, and I'm so proud that I was one of the people that helped bring this into this planet. You know, whatever. Okay, blah, 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 blah. Let's get out of here. It's a busy day in the shop here Saturday. I'll be back on Monday, and on the seat here will be Karen. I don't know, for the whole stream or part of it, I have no idea. We'll hear from Karen later. We'll see a bunch of video about Karen making paper, stuff like that. In the meantime, Jason Sound, Best
you very
wishes
much.
from us. I know. Let me know when it would be suitable to do things like raiding. You know, I
Yeah.
don't really control that. The mods here control the raiding. If you've got an interesting session going on, keep a background channel to the mods here
Yeah.
that say, "Hey, at the end of your stream."
Yeah,
Because
I'll
we're
let them
quite
know.
happy to do this. These people want to know, want to see what's going on.
Yeah, thank you very much as always.
But let me know, because I wouldn't think of it or
Yeah,
do it
that's-
myself. Hey, let's raid Jason today.
Yeah.
Because I won't, you know.
And no, thank you for having me. And like I said, everyone, today I will post. Dave and I had a long conversation, and that'll be on my YouTube. So
Hey, that's not the walk.
yes,
That's not
yes,
your-
but that's
And the
they,
walk
they
starts-
like you. Walk starts Wednesday Japan time.
Tuesday night.
Tuesday
many
night.
People. Okay.
Everywhere else. So
And
thanks.
You're gonna. It will just happen, or you're gonna post the evening before.
I'm
on
gonna
Instagram
post.
or
I'm gonna be
something, or
posting
what-
on Instagram. I'll be.
Okay.
This
Starting
trip
in a
is
half
everything.
an hour or whatever. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. When I'm down in there, I'll say we'll be this time, and I'll live
Okay.
Eastern.
Best
time,
wishes,
etc.
Guy.
Thank you, sir.
Hope we can help just a little tiny bit.
Thank you.
Good luck with it.
Cool.
So,
Kwangam, yeah, I'll let you know on Discord. Thank you.
let's get out of here. I'll pull up the outside camera as usual. You're now out of view. Sunny day. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sunny day. No, we're still live. 1 second. 3, 2, 1, and down.